1971年，时任执政政府在高等学府实行固打制，并修改了153条文中的第8A 款，为土著保留了在大学、学院及其他教育机构中的一些学额。教育部曾经在2002年表明，固打制已经被取消，并以绩效制取代，结果被多方狠批，换汤不换药。时隔17年后，大学预科班学额固打制卷土重来，教长马智礼的“先确保土著不谙中文也受聘”的言论，随即在民众间掀起了两极的反应。关于种族主义的各种说辞更是不胫而走。我国在去年509迎来了首次的改朝换代，却依旧无法摆脱种族主义的桎梏。平等的教育机会对各族而言意义是什么呢
？Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our show tonight on the hot seat. And of course, I have to welcome my two guests tonight, Siti Kasim, rights lawyer, and Prof. Tajuddin. Both have been very vocal about the matriculation issues, and I think everyone knows what brought us here today. A little bit of reminders for our audience tonight. If you have any question during the course of the program, feel free to drop a question at the comment section, and then if the producer deems it suitable, they will get either Siti or Prof to come and address the issues and share their thoughts on that. Anything, just feel free to do so. Okay, perhaps let's start a little bit. I think a lot of people have read about your comments on Masli and follow up with the matriculation. But I really want to start by asking both of you, what is your observation among fellow Malaysians, especially since the Minister of Education announced the increase of numbers to be accepted in matriculation? Have you noticed anything that's different previously, or, the discussion among fellow Malaysians?
Well, I'll let the gentleman go first. See,
Sure.
the other way around.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think I like to raise the question of being an academic as well as being a politician. I have realized, I think we have one of the first person like Dr. Masli Malik, who is in many ways a man after my own heart in a lot of issues. But after 1 year, I have realized that there is a big difference between a politician and also being an academic. Let's say if I were an academic, I can say things all I have to do is to say things clearly. I don't have to win votes. If I have everybody hating my views, it's fine. As long as I'm very clear, I have my facts and I have my structure. But being a politician, I found out that number one, you have to cater to the party needs. Okay, so when you want to go this way, I mean, if you're giving me a job as a minister, hey, Tajuddin, be a minister, I said, 5 years contract, don't kacau me. But then if the contract says no, if the Prime Minister thinks that you're not doing well or not very popular, then out you go. How to do work like that? So yes. I think a lot of things that perhaps some of the maybe controversial thing, and he did say that it is a cabinet decision.
Yes.
I think to me it's a very bad decision, very in many ways it's very insulting to be doing something like that. I mean, for now I think we should be doing 70-30 quota rather than this 90-10.
Yes, you mentioned this 70-30.
Okay, and but as I said, if you were to criticize Masli, I think it's not fair in that sense. You should be criticizing the cabinet, the Pakatan Harapan government for making this populist decision in relation to a very important subject of education in this country.
I think if you look at, I think there are a few things here inside. You mentioned politician. If you're not aware, actually, Masli just tweeted something on Twitter. He posted a photo of him with some fellow Chinese Malaysians and said that, he will work harder, he's not perfect, and something like that. I don't know how you would read it, but maybe that's trying hard to be a better politician in a way. I don't know. I mean, but I think that's his way of extending his Oliver twist after the whole incident.
Well, any comments made by me personally, at least I can say that it is not a personal attack against Masli per se. I understand that he is probably tied up with the cabinet decision. But as Professor already said, that it is a very bad decision if it's made by the cabinet. I think the Pakatan Harapan cabinet right now, Tun Mahathir's team probably forgot that majority of his voters are actually the people who want to be different than last time. You know, I mean, we want to be more equal, help the poor, no matter what race, because there are other races who are also poor. I just want to mention about Prof suggesting about the 70-30. You see, to me, the quota system has long gone. Okay, the more we give in, we mollycoddle the Malays, the more they rely on this, assistant. And the fact is now that we are not producing quality graduates, quality people who are qualified, to enter universities. This is the problem that I see. Many young Malays, not all. Definitely I've met many very good ones as well. In fact, better than the older people like us. But that's very few. It's because of their background. Is because of their home nurturing is different. They have a very forward-looking parents, so they are different. But majority, I've met some so-called English teachers who can't even speak English. When I ask them to speak English, they look very shy, and like, I like very fearful or embarrassed to speak in English. So what sort of people that have we produced, with this quota system? As, my recent sort of rant on my Facebook,
Yes.
I was surprised that it was, immediately taken up because probably due to the figures that I've put in.
Yes.
Not many people know actually that these figures were put forward in our own parliament. And this is not just any little NGO kind of, figures. These are figures given by our previous government back in 2015. It shows that actually most Bumiputras are actually in the category of T20, which is the highest income. So, but there is a massive disparity between the highest T20 and the B40. So this actually, we as Malays must ask our government why the disparity between the richest and the poorest. There are big gap.
Among the Malay community.
Yes, so there are more poor Malays than the rich in that figure. Whereas the figure shows that compared to the Chinese and the Indians, they are much more about right.
Equal.
Equal in the higher income and then the middle income and the lower income. Why is that? Despite us getting all this help from the government, but still there are many poor Malays, and but suddenly there's a big jump of very rich Malays. This is what we have to ask as Malays, not actually demanding that we must retain this quota, but what have we got actually out of this?
And many of these Malays are also our friends.
Yes.
We are part of this group.
Yes.
And I have friends who have their children in UITM paying 600 ringgit a semester.
Oh.
And also in Meritocracy. And also in the sekolah asrama penuh.
Yeah.
So I think what's going on here, I said. And then when I think Mazli, in early part of his ministership, he did something about the B40 entering more into the sekolah asrama.
Yes.
And he was hit by this middle and upper middle class Malays. And so Melayu tak tolong Melayu. Melayu has this perception that even though I'm rich, but because the Bumiputera is something special, the government have to help.
Yes.
When in fact you are already there, you should be helping yourself.
Yes, you should be helping your own community. Give it back to the community. No, it's not. To them, this is the government's, government's obligation. It's not ours. We have made it, goodbye, that's not my business anymore. This is the problem, the mentality that we have. You see, they don't know how to give back. Look at the Indian and the Chinese. They don't get any help. Okay, very little help. But who help their own poor people? The rich Chinaman, the rich business Chinaman, they are the one who help their own. So that's why I said, I don't blame, when Masli said why they want to, give employment to, these small companies. Yes, I think they will hire more of their own people. I used to work in a small Chinese company, but you know the rule, right? Every company must have a quota of Bumiputra. Lest anyone forgets that there must be at least, I think, 10% Bumiputra. That is the rule. But the thing is, you know why they feel obliged or feel that they need to help their own race is because
no one else is going to help.
No one else is going to help. So do you blame them? No, I don't actually. I don't at all. I said, So if people say, you look at the China lah, they won't help you if you. No, I think that's wrong because throughout my life, I've been helped by Chinese, because I don't look at you as Chinese or what. I look at you as fellow human being and a Malaysian, and that's how I see people. But the thing is, when you start looking from a different set of glasses, then people look at you differently as well,
This is very interesting. I don't know whether both of you have noticed that since what Masli has said, and especially how he related to unemployment and condition of employment, there is a petition which is ongoing that asks him to step down. But I don't think I think it didn't stop there. Then there's another petition that come up.
Yes.
I do think that petition is a retaliation.
Of course.
It's like asking to abolish vernacular schools. I wanted to understand this sentiment, and I think a lot of fellow Malaysians want to understand this sentiment. Why is this suddenly we became fellow Malaysians who are on both divides? It's not really racial. It's very educational. It's an education issue. A lot of people are angry with Masli not because of matriculation, not because of the cabinet decision, but because of how he interpret or I don't know.
I think the words he used.
The words he used.
It's about the private universities are filled up with the non-Burmese because dia orang lebih berada. There's much more well off. They are much more kaya lah. Basically, that's what he's saying in a simple thing is that. Orang bukan Melayu semua kaya-kaya itu that's why the private universities are filled with them. That's why we as a government must fill up our public universities with the Burmese because the Burmese are not rich. That's what he said. That's why I was coming out with the figures to say that's not true what you're saying.
Yes, it's good that you actually have some figures to actually tell us how the picture is, the clear, the real or the true picture is. But what I really want to understand is there this sense of insecurity among the Malay communities, and why are they so insecure when they are already the majority?
Yes, I was asked a question in one of the interview quite recently on are the Malays ready for meritocracy? Now, surprisingly, Siti may disagree with me, but I said no. Malays are not ready for meritocracy. You know why? Because of three things, I said. Number one, we have religious leaders telling Malays, you cannot do this, you cannot do this, you cannot work at a hotel because it's close to alcohol. That sort of thing, You cannot work in maybe you cannot work at those who work probably with serving alcohol like in the aeroplane, haram, things like that. So if you have this kind of a very restrictive concept of career and things like that, certainly you have very, very, very little ways of you to do this thing. But then you got the politician also telling the Malays, we are still behind, we are still that, we are still this. And then how are you going to be having in a mindset of competing with others when you have these two things? And finally, infrastructure. When I was in Edinburgh, there is this trailer truck that will come every day. It's a library trailer. It's got full of books. So each housing, they have this trailer.
Yes.
We build mosque and administration building in hundreds of million ringgit. I'm an architect and architecture, and I know some of these things. And I said, but where are the infrastructure for the kampong? Have you ever seen a trailer truck with books in your housing estate? I don't think so. All right. Now in England, you can walk, and then you can see a library here and a library there, things like that.
Yes.
So who spends this money on infrastructure, if not the Malay leaders? okay, who are in charge of the country. So I said, no, the Malays are not. So I am for the quota system, but a more what I call a hikmah. Hikmah means something which is fairer.
Okay.
To others. You might even have to have quota for the orang asli. You might have to have a quota for certain special people and things like that. So I think these are some of the reasons that you need to understand why the Malays are feeling this kind of what we call siege mindset.
Siege.
Siege.
It's the leaders.
You know. What I think is like, it's not that I am against what Prof is saying actually, because I understand the siege mentality that a lot of our Malays have, not because of they are stupid. It's not. I think it's the way they have been informed of what it is right now with the current government or the previous government for the last 60 over years. They have always been told that, oh yes, we'll always be with you. There's no way we are going to abandon you. This is the problem. I think, you see, it has to go in tangent. The education of the minds of the society, and as well as the change of policies by our authorities, by our government. Because if you want to wait until the Malays totally change and understand, never, okay? Because it's never going to happen. Because there will be people like Isma, like Centra, because it's a fact. They are going to fight and go against whatever is good for our society, no matter what, purely because they want to go against it. They don't care whether it is actually good for the Malays, to have great scientists, to have great poets, to have great actors or actress, or to have great mathematicians or inventors. No, they don't care about that. What they care is that, as long the Malay remain in this cocoon, that's where they want to put the Malay, to remain in their cave, okay, so that Malays are never going to understand what is going all around the world, press the Malay minds by using religion, and the fact is actually Islam is not what is being portrayed by these people, and to say that Islam is under siege and all that, it is not true at all. But the young Melayu that you see on the street, who knows nothing about economy, about what's going on around the world, they will believe this type of rhetoric, and this is why they want the Malay minds to remain, covered and not open, you see. And this is why they will attack people like me, like Professor Tajuddin, anyone who dares to go be outside the box, you see. They don't like it, they hate it, so that's why I really hope our government must take the leadership, because you cannot wait for the people to eventually open up their minds. No, the government has to just do it what they know. Everybody knows what is good for the society. What is actually they can't wait until the Malay is ready, because the Malays will never be ready. So the moment they start, and then they see the benefit of it in maybe 10 years time, and then they will say, yes, the policies set up by our government, was good for our future well-being. I mean, our government is talking about flying cars and all that, but how are you going to even have that if you are producing mediocre kind of people?
Graduates.
I'm sorry, it's just that it doesn't go with the dreams and the act, of the government, the current government. Yeah.
Actually, this is also, we have a few questions already from the audience, but this might be something that I want to follow up with Siti, because you mentioned that the Malays are living in a cocoon just because of some certain factions. One of our audience, his Andy, his question is, can we gather a group of people to form a progressive front regardless of race and religion? It seems that the Malay voice is dominated by right-wing nationalists and religionists.
Well, actually,
Because my question is, however, I would like to follow up a little bit because I
Sure.
realize that people like Prof, like City, are the minorities who really come out and tell us different things, different point of view. Why are so few people out there who dare to stand up and say things that, I don't know,
well,
overturn whatever they have been told?
yeah, okay. You see, it's not about dare or what here, you see, because we know what is right. We are doing what we feel is right for Malaysia, for our race, and for everybody. For me, I just feel that what is, it's just, that it's wrong, you have to say something.
Yes.
Naturally, it just come naturally. Funny enough, the question actually to answer why not many Malays. Actually, if you want to know, I have many Malays. I'm sure Prof as well, who actually are very forward-looking. Actually, agree
And share the same view that you have.
Everything. But they don't want to come out openly because either they are in businesses. They are afraid it will affect their businesses, or they work for government. So there's the fear like before. You see, and look at me. How many times have I been, I've been charged in court. I have been, persecuted basically, and online abuse. Okay, I get so much abuse, and I get death threats. Because you see, when I talk about Malay, they say I'm anti-Malay, I'm anti-Islam. You see, this is the problem. This is the siege mentality. When I say something against my own race, I am racist. They don't even understand the difference, the meaning of the word racist. How can they? You see, that's the thing. And it's incredible. This is why. This is that's why not many Malays want to come out, seeing the amount of abuse you get online. It's just that I just don't care. You can say whatever about me. I'm fat, I'm ugly. Go on and say. I just couldn't care because I know who I am. But not many people can take that. Many people ask me, so how we want to get the Malays? You see, you cannot. You see, the thing is, this is why we have a government. This is why we have leaderships. This is why we elect Pakatan Harapan, hoping that they are going to be our voice. They are going to be the one who's going to speak up for all the things that we are saying now. But no. Actually, after 1 year, okay, I don't expect them to fill up the manifestos or whatever, not. But don't come out with stupid actions and remarks and things that really, which is unacceptable to fair-minded people, okay? Never mind the extremists, I don't care what they think or what, but for us, we are thinking for the betterment of our country. Yeah.
So one of the things that that I come down very hard on is on the public university academia.
Yeah.
I get in trouble when I criticize it, but
You see?
I'm so surprised. I said, look, you're supposed to be the ones who are intelligent. You're supposed to be the one that has a fixed gaji, pay coming in every month, and not a few. I mean, it's not a little, it's quite a lot of money. But the point here is that you don't realize that the salary comes from the taxpayers.
Yes.
You think that the money magically comes in a coffer somewhere, and then you don't care about talking about halal or haram. You don't know that the money comes from the treasury. It's from so many different kinds of people that you owe the country something, and they don't realize that the university belongs to the people. So one of my articles I read, giving the university back to the people, and so they understand it as a kind of a bureaucracy, a kind of an institution that you only answer to the minister. So they only look at the minister. They don't look, and even then in Islam, the role of the ulama the ulama means those who knows, not those who wears the turban.
serban.
I mean, if I'm in architecture, I don't expect Hadi Awang to know about how to design mosque, do I?
Yes.
Yeah, but then I'm the one who will have to say, look, if you build 2 minarets, it's going to be a waste. And if the Prophet were alive, he's going to say, why are you building this thing? And I can argue and I can prove that to you. So why isn't it that they are not coming out and saying the things that they are supposed to be said? And this is the culture in academia that I feel very sad. I used to be very excited to be in university, but now I used to also be very excited when my children become lecturers. But now another one wants to be lecturer. I just sit down and say, I'm not really sure what the future is. For academia,
wasting your talent.
Yeah. So I really don't know. I feel totally disheartened in that regard. So when you have quote unquote intelligent Malays thinking like that,
Yes.
what hope is there?
Yes,
to the country.
We get persecuted, we get condemnation. Prof is working in a private uni, right? So he's not so affected. But the public universities, or the lecturers, the intelligent people, the intelligentsia, in there, the academics. I'm sure there are many brilliant ones, but they don't dare, to speak up. Because for fear it will affect their job, things like that. Or else they're not happy, they just leave, and do something else. And this is the why not many progressive Malays coming out to speak up. So, please don't, expect. This is why we actually choose Pakatan Harapan. We are hoping a change,
Okay, so are you both saying that, where while a lot of Malays know that whatever that's happening now is not right, it's not good for the nation, but they are not speaking up, of course, because of persecution or because, they might be things like what have happened to you personally, online abuse. But we must, we should have faith, and there are also a lot of fellow Malaysians, especially in the Malay community, who share the same belief in meritocracy, in, many.
Yep.
Well, I don't know about many.
The one that I've met, yes.
Yeah.
Because
but they are just the silent ones.
No, all I can, maybe I'm not in Siti's group, but I'm in my.
But
own
you're
group.
one in my group,
Yeah,
one of my group.
Yeah. So, but the ones that I have come across, you must. I work at the university, public university, for 27 years, so I know what's going on in the public university.
Yes.
I have the feeling that they it's not that they are afraid. It is that they more or less think the same way as what most other Malays.
They really believe it lah.
They believe in the mainstream narrative of ketuanan Melayu. Islam must be at the top. If not, it's going to
Islam
be
is at the
something
top.
like that.
Right now,
So-
Islam is at the top, man. Look at the many mosques, or everywhere you turn around, there's a mosque or a surau anywhere. Everything, there's Islamic verses everywhere. So where is Islam being put down? I can't see it, to be honest.
It is not enough for them. They want all the churches and temples to be mosques. So
Yes,
something like that.
no, they want every.
For some reason, there's certain fears or the construct of religion, and that's why I no longer use the word religion when I talk about things to do with spirituality. I use the word spirituality and the religion identity, I call it. So what is happening at the moment, if you listen to the Friday sermons and all these things, I don't want to speak for churches and things like that.
Yes,
Other
yes.
friends will speak about that, and they say almost similar also happening. It's about what I call the religion identity construct. You are protecting an identity. The identity of being Muslim
Brainwashing,
and being
in other
other
words.
things, and you thinking that is it? That box is
Yes.
Islam. And that's why when I wrote this article, it's called A Buddhist Lesson for Nation Building.
Yes, a brilliant one.
I get people, some Muslims say, don't forget about the Prophet and all that. Actually, I wrote another one. It's called The Prophet and the Christians. There are evidences where the Prophet had interaction with the Christian in a cordial, courteous manner. And what are you doing talking to Christians like that, calling them all sorts of names? You are not actually following what the Prophet is saying.
Yes.
So the evidence of the Prophet, that's why I wrote the book, not the Islam I know. Because the Islam that I know that come from the Prophet, but the Islam that is practiced is either Arab Islam or Melayu Islam, and that is called the religion identity construct. And this is where we are having a problem of conflict of constructs in that regard.
I agree 100%. You know, I won't even call that as a religion to be. You know, it's not. That is the what I think that the majority of our Malays, you know, they have been indoctrinated with a certain version of so-called Islam. I won't even call it as Islam because to me that is not Islam. You know, I mean the version that I think the children that being indoctrinated in schools and in colleges, you know, this is why we are having this problem. You know. They are very inclusive. They are not taught about, you know, Islam, which is actually very liberal, you know. But the word liberal becomes
A dirty word.
You know. And who starts it? Our politician. You know, liberal is a dirty word. Come on, our Rukun Negara is actually, there's a liberal word there, you know. And this is the thing, the whole narrative of our society, you know, is being manipulated by our politicians. And, you know, the poor Malays, you know, not necessarily in financial term, but in our mentality, you know, just follow. Because we have been taught not to question. We have been taught not to inquire anything that is not right. Because I remember when I was young, I asked an ustad, the ustad keeps saying, God create this, God create that. As a child who is inquisitive, you know, I mean, my parents never taught me to be silent, you know. I mean, so then when I asked, so if God creates everything, who create God? I said, you know, wow, he went like ballistic. Wow, as a child, I was scared. I was thinking, why he's gone really mad, you know? And he was really upset. He said that, you cannot ask that question. You will become a kafir. Murtad. Okay? Because that is the way our mind or the way we have been taught to learn. No question. Don't ask. Okay, and that's how I think the narrative been going on for so long. And but for a few Malays, there are Malays who keep on questioning and the quest to find. You know, like me, I keep on with my search, and I finally found it. And I know what is Islam, the true Islam, and this is why I try to give a narrative of a much beautiful more, you know, of Islam. Not the kind of the version all about punishment. You know, it's not about that actually.
I think just to say something, not to campaign for Mazli or anything like that, but there was this issue about the MBM, the Majlis Belia Malaysia, make a statement that they said that after their discussion that you need a religious studies, like the religious studies class, and then Mazli came out and said that, well, we don't really need that, but what you need is, he said, love and empathy. Okay, and then somebody was saying that, oh no, that is not enough. You know, no, what actually he's saying is that that's correct. You know, love means to that is the highest form of spirituality, and also empathy means feeling others and all these things. So this is in Islam, but it is lost with all the pukul istri, you know, with all the alcohol. There was a Friday sermon, kerja haram. What is kerja haram? Alcohol. And said the one MDB guy robbing the country is not haram, is it? You know, and the JPJ Penang, hundreds of JPJ officers, that one also not haram. So when
that's the hypocrisy of the religious people. Okay, I will say it out loud. Where were they when our country being robbed dry? Okay,
they want to hush with the one MDB.
That's it, because they want to be part of it. They want to be you know, where are the voices of our religious people? The muftis, you know, the Muslim NGOs, you know, this
Abim Ikrab.
Majlis Pengguna Islam, this beria nak defend Islam ni. ISMA, Sentra, Baksa, whatever not. Where are their voices?
This is very interesting. You guys have sort of like shared what's going on within the Malay community and who are actually dominating the narrative. But is there anything that we can do actually to change the narrative? I know both of you have been like,
Right.
doing your
I have
part,
something to say
doing
about
your
that,
part.
yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and also Siti mentioned that, the government has to do something. But is there anything else that, we can really help or we can really do together to change this narrative?
Okay. May I, Prof? Sorry, I don't mean to lie, but this is something you know as well. Okay, this is, I've been thinking, me and a group of people, Malaysians actually, and we, before GE14, we were really feeling, God, what can we do, because we saw the narrative of the other side is getting stronger and stronger, and it's getting, getting more and more support from the previous government. So we thought that we need to be more organized. So because of that, I have actually registered a foundation called Malaysian Action for Justice and Unity. Okay. This foundation is not political. We never wanted to be a politician anyway. I've never been interested. But I think I have to be more organized. It's always like Siti Kasim say this, Siti Kasim say that. So, so now it's going to be more organized in the sense that people who believe in our values and with our aim for a better Malaysia, join us under the foundation. So then we will speak as one voice, so far there's nothing to show, in terms of statistics, because they will say the majority, a lot of this, the right wing, or, they will say the majority don't want, a liberal, the majority, want this so-called hudud. They say, you see, but they never come up with figures. So we are going to try and do that. We're going to garner whoever believe in us, in our what we are fighting for, because we are fighting for all Malaysians, not just for any particular race. Whoever. This is needs-based, basically. We will speak up for anyone who are in need, So I know there are many people who come to me for help, but I can't. I'm only one person. They even ask whether is this city's admin. I have no admin. I have nobody. I actually answer my own. So I felt really under pressure and it gets, I feel sorry a lot. People I cannot help. In fact, I can just, give very simple advice. When I can, I give. But we have to be more organized. So we hope to launch it after Hari Raya, sometime in June. So we hope that right-minded Malaysians will actually join us and tell our government, this is what we want. Please, please do not, pander to the side that never voted for you. We are the people that voted for you because we wanted change, and yet you are not doing it because we felt that we thought it was going to be top down. Yeah, that's what our hope is. But I think it's time now for us as Malaysians, no matter what race or faith or no faith or whatever, get together is from us to be giving in a more organized way, telling the government this is what we want, not just from political parties. Okay, so these are the right. So we are. Yeah. What do you think, Prof?
Yeah. Well, on that foundation, it's her baby. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not much into that.
I'm sure.
But I would like to say, for the first time, something has been on my mind, and it may not be popular with some people, but I now realize after 1 year of looking at the Ministry of Education, and I said that how are we going to change this thing? I just said just now, if you are the Minister of Education, how would you like a job that you are not certain of your future for 5 years? If somebody says 5 years, jangan kacau, like I said just now, right? Then it's okay. But the reality is not that. So who is the best? All right. So the only person that cannot be reshuffled is the Prime Minister, whoever he is. some people say, oh, we must give to Dr. Mahathir. He's the only one who can solve problem. Mahathir also said, Meritocracy jalan belakang. Come on. It is not the person of Mahathir that is important. It's the office. Okay,
Yes.
so the only office that cannot be reshuffled is the Prime Minister. So that's why I said that perhaps it's now time for us to split the Ministry of Education into Ministry of Higher Education, because higher
Yes.
education, I said, you know, the academia, you have to change the culture. It's not that difficult.
Yes.
But it's easier. But the Ministry of Education, the one with the sekolah menengah, the sekolah ugama, and all
Yes.
these things, that is a minefield. You know,
Yes,
you
yes.
step anywhere, it's going to explode.
Yes.
All right. So the only person powerful enough and cannot be reshuffled is the leader of the political party, and whoever it is, Anwar Ibrahim ke, Mahathir ke, tak kisah siapa.
You mean the PM?
Yeah, the office of the PM
Yes.
now has to hold this one. So it cannot be said that this is a failure of Dr. Mazli. Long time ago, after 6 or 7 months, I said, I don't see any way that he could move. I even described in one article, I said the hostage government, meaning that you fallen into a trench. And you cannot get out of it. You do it this way, somebody's going to attack you. Do it this way. But the point here is that you also have to be pandering to your political party. And that is the most difficult
Yes,
aspect
yes.
to play
But
with.
the PM has to pander to his party also. He's a
Well, he's the
politician
PM.
too.
You know, if he's strong enough in terms of his own stature, as I said, he cannot be reshuffled. He can be replaced in the next election. But Dr. Mazli can be replaced tomorrow if a minister wakes up one day and move him somewhere else. But as I said, the only person that cannot be reshuffled is the Prime Minister. So let him have the Ministry of
Well,
Education.
that's why he recommended
But have it.
himself before to be the Minister of Education. Siapa yang bising? The Pakatan Harapan people juga yang bising, okay? So I actually said this. I knew it's going to be a problematic ministry. And this is the most important ministry that needs to be overhauled right from day one.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with the ability of Mazli or whatever. I
No.
challenge anybody. Even if I were to be, I would say face the same problem.
No, you see,
You know?
actually Mazli is a great guy. Okay, I know he's not stupid either. I understand what he's saying, and I do feel sorry for him that he has to pander to the requests of, or not request, maybe the demands of the party. You know, he is PPBM, right?
Yeah.
So you know, and PPBM has to be strong.
Like
But
you.
as you said, yeah. So you know, he has to show that it is upholding the Malay rights.
Yeah.
You know, but actually the Malay rights, please, I hope the Malay understand that none of your rights are going to be taken away. That is for sure. No matter who's going to be in power, your rights are already protected under the federal constitution. No way anyone can take, not even our royalties, and no one can take that. So you see, this is what has been you know, they have been told lies, you know, always by people who have their own kepentingan. You see, so this is the thing.
Yeah, since we are already on the topic of the Minister of Education and also the need of our education system to reform, to have an overhaul.
Number one, reform our education system. Seriously, no reform in 10 years, 20 years, maybe maximum 30 years.
Oh, okay. There's also another idea that I was holding. You know, you have 400,000 teachers. Okay, how do you going to? So I was thinking of another way was empowering states, meaning that you have to break the thing up into
Decentralization.
states. Or let's say the minister like Mazli says, love and empathy for it. You do it. Don't expect Mazli to do it. He already said it, which is right. Now you, the teachers and all these things, you design the program, the training and
Right.
things like that. But 450,000, you know, so many bureaucracies and things like that. So I was thinking perhaps we should, you know, decentralize it to the point that each state, these are the objectives, how you achieve it. That is your way.
Exactly,
I
yes.
mean that's how I think big companies are run, or
That's it.
big state.
Government, you know, or running ministries has to be like running a company.
But it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
it goes to the state menteri besar, tak ada.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just that you
ultimately,
are
the CEO
empowered.
will have to take
Yeah.
the penultimate whatever wrongs or rights.
Okay. While we want a country to be run very efficiently, like how a corporate is being run, we
Yes.
but we cannot run a country just for the purpose of making profit. I think that's
Oh, no,
that's
no,
also-
we're not
talking about
that's
profit.
it's
It's how
about
to
the
do work.
efficiency.
It's
about the
how to
About
do work,
efficiency,
you know.
yes. You know,
Yeah.
get rid of those, you know,
Jabatan Pendidikan, there's so many people there.
Yes,
So
yes,
what
yes,
for? You nak
yes.
pindah pun, you have to have the Jabatan Pendidikan. Just send an email to where you want to go. I mean, I don't see what the
Yeah.
problem is.
Yeah.
Put these people back into school.
Yeah, okay, so let's go back to the quality or the state of our education. I also want to talk about matriculation. You mentioned that, or Mahathir actually said that it's actually a backdoor. Do you, I mean, Prof, you have been in the system for so long. Do you think the matriculation where they admit all the students, is it like really good for it as in a whole? I mean, the quality of graduates that we are producing?
Well, I have interviewed an STPM graduate for the architecture course, and I asked him a few critical questions. For instance, I said, "Who is your favorite political leader?" And he said, "Dr. Mahathir." At that time, Dr. Mahathir was the first time Prime Minister. And I said, "Okay,
Wow.
well, that's nice. What is it about Dr. Mahathir that you do not like, or that you do not want to follow?" You know what the answer was?
Yeah.
I don't think he has any weaknesses.
Okay, sorry.
So I said, look,
must be God, you know. Yeah.
so I said, look, I also admire Dr. Mahathir. I read 4 or 5 of his books, and I know what his strengths are, and I know what his weaknesses are. I mean, he's just human. So as a leader, if I want to follow him, then I want to follow the one that I think that is correct, and I'm not going to follow the one that I think he's doing not so good. Okay, and everybody has that. So there's no critical thinking at all in terms of this STPM.
Yes.
And of course, the matriculation, if you look at the program, it's just like any kind of
Foundation.
Form 5 thing. And that's why I said that the STPM as well as the matriculation both are to me useless. You have to have a new foundation course that has such subject as philosophy. Why philosophy? Because it questions everything that you know. When somebody comes to do
Yes.
PhD with me, the first thing I say, everything you've learned in architecture so far is wrong. You know, wrong doesn't mean wrong. It
Yeah,
means
yeah.
it's questionable because you've only imitated knowledge. You haven't questioned it. In PhD, you have to question every single word, every
Right.
single phrase, and then you come up with something that you want to accept. That is what critical thinking is all about. Critical thinking is not, oh, Islam is like this, then you accept. No.
Yes.
Actually, we should really learn philosophy even from
Yeah.
a younger age. You know?
Yeah. So the other thing is psychology. I mean, how the human behavior works and things like that. And then they also should be learning about the environment, sustainable things, the sustainable
Yes,
development
yes.
goals and things like that. And then they also need to organize themselves because they are going to be leaders and they are going to organize, in order to project a certain idea to the leaders, go
Yeah.
to parliament, mix with the ministers,
Yeah.
that sort of thing lah. Ini still mathematics, still all these things. What for?
Road,
That
you know,
kind of
they just
foundation is this?
no critical thinking. That's the thing. They're not taught, you know, to have.
Learning to unlearn is the first
Yes.
principle of the of any good civilization.
Yes. And but in this country, if you question, then you will get, you know, attacked, or even the authorities will come down hard on you. You know, when you actually say something which is not in line with their thinking. Oh, arrest him, arrest her, you know, for saying something against this, against that. You know, I mean, my God, you know, I mean, nobody can say anything about the royalties, you know. Nobody can say
About
anything
Islam.
about the religion, Islam, you know, but they can say a lot of things about everything. But, you know, people like us, no, cannot. And yet our government pander to these people. And this is why I think a lot of, you know, nobody cares what you believe and how you believe, but you do not try to impose that to others, you know. This is what I say, you know, faith is personal to you, to yourself. And, you know, this is the way they are showing how the mainstream Islam, to be honest, it makes a lot of people hate Islam. You know, that is a fact. Okay, if not because of people like me, like Prof and many other Malays who actually show that Islam is not like that. We are trying to, tell the non-Muslim, and say, they say, okay, we believe that, because of what you said and you have come up with the proof, and so, we know that Islam is not as harsh as what they have shown. You see, this is the problem. But we are not looking like an ulama or ustazah. First of all, they will ask, where's your tudung? In the first place, they can't even prove to us, where in the Quran there's anything about tudung. This is the problem. And when I say that, it's like one of the pillar of Islam, wearing tudung. This is
That's
how
just
they
why
have got
sometimes when my wife and I, we have a bit different. She's a bit conservative in terms of Islamic things. So when the children, daughters don't want to wear tudung, or maybe they consider prayers in a certain way. So look, I said, what are you worried about? I said, I have seen people going for prayers and then calling Cina babi, or somebody latest saying this Hong Ping, yang Muhammad into the anjing, kenapa bawa anjing masuk? And the muftis are not saying anything. These are the people who go and pray. I said, and they don't say anything against such things. And then worse, you get people strapping bombs and then bombing and Manchester and innocent people. I mean, our children are not doing that. They are here, they help us, they don't say any bad things against other people. I consider that a job well done in terms of parenthood. But my wife, she believes in this construct of religion and identity. If they don't do this, they do that.
Yeah, we are deviant.
You can't influence your wife too.
It's not about influence. I mean, I explain it to
It's
her.
good.
It's
He
up to
doesn't
her.
want to influence.
It's up
He
to her
cannot
to
impose
accept.
on her. Yeah.
I said if you
That's a good husband, you see.
if you're going to if you're going to think like that, you might not sleep very well. But the point here is that their path is their own.
Yes.
You have to respect that. In religion, conviction simply because it is the norm, or following a norm, is simply just imitating.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
you have no. Lao Tzu says the way that can be told is not the eternal way.
Yeah.
You have to find it out yourself.
Yes.
So like us also. You also didn't wear the tudung when we went to the United States, and later on you did that. Did you do it because your friends wore tudung and then you also wanted to
it's
wear
a trend.
tudung?
It's a
What
money
was it?
making machine. I always say that, just because of that I refuse, because people are taking advantage. I'll wear tudung for a certain occasion. I have no objection about it, nothing against it. But the problem is it becomes like they pressure other women. I know a story which is a true story, where this woman, very high ranking in a GLC, and a new chairman came in and said that, okay, there is a position was that higher than her, for her to promote, to be promoted, but only one, you have to wear tudung. You see.
I think
She was actually told to wear tudung if she wants the position. Yeah, meaning that if she wants to be promoted. All right, and the thing is because she believed that is wrong. Just for a position, she's going to change her principle. So she resigned. It's terrible. And this is the discrimination that the other side of the coin gets as well. So don't talk about women who wear tudung that actually get discrimination. They are shouting about. What about women who don't wear tudung in their workplace?
Forget it, in the government place now.
Yeah. And I tell you, when I see a Malay woman not wearing tudung in a government place, I salute her 100%. Because I have no idea how much pressure. But usually they are all bosses, mostly. But I see one or two. And that means they have either they have a very strong constitution to remain, strong with their principles, or they have very great workmates and bosses that don't impose their values on or morals or belief onto their staff. So that's the possibility. But majority, if you ask the Malay women, they are mostly being pressured, peer pressure, and example like this. If you want something, you want this, then you have to follow our way. So don't tell me all these religious people do not discriminate. They do not actually oppress. They are the worst people who will oppress. Okay, so I have no time for these so-called pretenders of religious people. Really, I have no time for them.
Okay, yeah, I think we have mentioned a lot about like just now you mentioned like discrimination and all this.
Yeah.
Maybe can we talk a little bit about the affirmative action in this country? You talk about Malay rights. We talk about special. I mean, it's in the constitution. It's the special position. Let's not go into that. But maybe can we talk about do we need to revisit this affirmative actions that we have, whether it's matriculation?
Yeah, actually, this is meant for what? How many years? There was a time limit, right?
Yeah.
You know.
But time and again, they say that there's not supposed to be a time limit. There should be a time limit.
Well, you see, I always say, go back to when our forefathers drafted the constitution. What was the intention? When they actually drafted it. Then we have to follow suit. Not follow the trend or whatever is being used right now by certain quarters for their own benefit. So I do believe, that for me, the government should actually do something about this affirmative action. Okay. Used to be, yes, it's very important because there is a great disparity, financially between the Malays and the Chinese, even the Indians. But okay, the Malays as the so-called Bumiputra, so they need to be helped more. But 60 years, see there's
The latest figure, Umrah.
Yeah, Umrah.
Muslims
Yes.
go to Umrah. Cost 7,000 ringgit for a package. And all total, I think 12,000 for one person. This year alone, not even half a year, I think about 200,000 Malays will be performing the Umrah.
They're not poor.
If your husband and wife spending 20,000 ringgit, you get enough to put a child in Unicell for 3 years.
That's it.
Do you get
that's
subsidies to
rich,
go for
how
Umrah?
rich they are. I only went once and I can't afford because I have children in private school.
I know. I think they have. You see now.
So you
see,
have
It
to
is-
fork
it
out
is-
your own money.
It's not obligatory. It's then it's,
No,
it's
no,
not
it's not
obligatory.
obligatory. Even
not
Haji,
obligatory.
if you can't afford, you are not forced to go. But the thing
But the
is,
point is that a non-obligatory act, you were willing to spend 20,000
Yes.
ringgit. And then when you say, how about your children? Your children, government take care lah.
you see,
dia jadi. That's why I
as
said
what
that
he's
the issue of the thing,
Yeah.
I use the term, people use the term tongkat.
Yes.
So I said, look, tongkat, there are three functions of tongkat. Tongkat you use to person if they are sick. And the Malays were sick at the time in terms of economy.
yes,
But then tongkat can also be used as a weapon. You can hit people with the tongkat, right? And the tongkat can also be used as a prestige thing. Sometimes when you use the tongkat, people think you're a dato or something like that. So with this thing, you use it as a weapon when you say, look, if you don't give us this affirmative action, we're not going to give you the vote.
yes,
That becomes a weapon. That's wrong already.
Yeah.
Powerful weapon.
And then the other one is prestige. I'm a Bumiputra, and therefore, regardless of what I earn, I'm supposed to be a special person. Identity
yes.
becomes an
Ketuanan lah,
identity.
the ketuanan thing.
So the tongkat from something which I think Tun Dr. Ismail says, that is to help until you get better.
Yes.
It's not supposed to be something perpetual. I mean, his son Taufik. That's what he says.
Yes.
Who better than his son to say something like
That's
the architect of the constitution in the
Right,
early
yes.
years of Merdeka.
You see, the Umrah as well, they have for now like business, they have the low level, the budget one lah, they call it, and then they have the middle one, which is the hotel will be a bit like maybe 3 stars, okay, but they have the luxury one that can cost per person like 20-30K. That one you will stay in a 5-6 star hotel. So, I mean, if you are really religious, and I mean, if you really think, what is this? Is this a business, or is this to go and worship my God over there? But you can worship your God anywhere and everywhere. Okay, you don't have to be in Mecca to worship Allah. So basically, it's being manipulated again. Being used. And do you know that I have a friend whose husband just died? Well, 1 or 2 months ago. So she's going through this faraid, going to the Sharia court. I just want to say about this Umrah thing. A Sharia judge asked her, has he done his Hajj? And then my friend said, no, he hasn't. And then you know what the judge said? Oh, then you have to perform it for him. Pay somebody to do what they call it, haji apa upah, haji upah. When I heard that, okay, any person who, it's not even.
I have never researched on the issue, so I don't know what to say about it.
He's dead, and the money left. It's not like this person is like multi-millionaire. Okay, this woman is a housewife. Whatever money she has is for her to survive. Yet she was actually, kind of imposed by the judge to do it, to pay somebody to do the Hajj. Is that Islamic? I don't think so. I don't think God wants its people to be, in difficulties. After all, this person is dead already. It's just mind-boggling. Okay, this Umrah business.
My mother never went because of her anxiety disorder, and I never, although I could, I never do any of this.
No, I've never had enough money to go anyway.
I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just saying that I didn't do it because
I always say, for me it's simple like this. If you want to do whatever you want to do, if you believe in it, please go ahead. But do not make it a rule, a law, or you make it something that we must oblige to do it as well. According, you see, the day they stop trying to enforce on all of us, the Malay. This is one of the reasons why I speak up, because I am a Malay. If I don't agree with what they are doing, I have to speak up for myself. If the day they stop, they say, okay, I will do my own thing. We are not supposed to touch others who don't agree with us. It's okay. We go ahead, and I will stop talking about religion. Okay, because they mind their own business. I mind my own business. Okay, I'm not affecting anyone. You don't affect anyone. I will just stop. Okay, because we can never agree on what is the true Islam, or the true Christianity, or the true whatever, Jewish or whatever belief you have. No, because we are human beings. God gave us a brain which are very complicated and very different. As long you are not doing harm to others, to me, please go on and believe in whatever you do. But the moment you become a terrorist, you ought to be punished. And you ought to be punished severely, because you are affecting other people. You are killing people, for no reason. These people are innocent. They may not believe in what you believe, but you have no right to kill these people. This is what I as simple as that.
Yeah.
Why can't these people do that?
When we set out to discuss whatever that we are discussing tonight, right, we wanted to talk about how race and education is being entangled in this country, when we talk about education and eventually become a race issue. But now, right, you see how the discussion went on. It became like an even bigger and more complex issue with religion coming into play.
Because I said in the early days of the PH winning, I said Islam is going to be the battleground, and I said that we need people like Mazli in such institutions to spearhead so that you can get the moderate narrative going. But people ignore that, and said that, well, it's okay, then we'll just do the normal political way of appeasing to the Malays and things like that. But I knew that if you can have someone leading not definitely people like us,
Why not?
Somebody
Why not?
leading.
Why not? I think we
Then-
have more
then you
brain
can have,
cells than many of them, to be honest. Yeah, I don't mind even if you had the education ministry. The thing is,
The higher education, okay, give
Yes,
the one to
this is
whoever
it.
is the prime
You know,
minister. I don't want to handle
for
that.
me, why don't why don't the government actually appoint somebody who is capable, meaning who can change, but politicians should not interfere. Okay, they should be given free hand to
Like a
to
corporate kind of a
yeah,
model,
Yeah, only if there's something wrong, then only you interfere, the CEO interfere. But otherwise, leave them alone. And if everything is going well according to plan, then leave them alone. Because you see, when politicians, they have to
Pander here, pander there.
they have to listen to this, they have to listen to this, and then get attacked, from all sides. So this is the politician being politician. Let administering the ministries, by corporate minded people in that in that line, who actually have the right mind to manage this, let's say for finance ministry, get an accountant or somebody who really is qualified, but not a politician, come accountant, because they are wearing two hats, and they don't know which hat they are actually. But always the politics come first. And that's why DAP is so quiet about everything now, because they are political. They don't want to rock the boat, because they say, oh, we just keep quiet now because we are already in the government, so keep quiet. We don't have to say anything. They are making a big mistake because they are becoming MCA, right? When MCA was in the previous government. So to the DAP politicians, do not think that we are idiots, okay? Although you are in a coalition, you have DAP, Amanah, PPBM, PKR, okay? All of the politicians, no matter whether you are Malay, Chinese, Indian, whatever, please speak up for all of us. Okay, we don't look at you as Chinese, Indian, whatever, because we voted you as an MP who is capable to speak up for all of us. So do your job. Don't think about your future GE15, because you may not have anymore if you don't actually, think about us, the one who voted for you. This is what I'm saying to them.
Okay. We have a question from the audience. Okay, addressed to both of you. So, what do you see Malaysia in the near future? Will it be more extremism?
Simple answer, yes lah.
Yes.
Because nothing's changed. Nothing's changed in the system. So
As I said, who is to build the narrative? Cannot be just the two of us. We are
cannot.
looked upon.
Yes.
So you have to have, again, I agree that the government has to step in. For instance, like I think next week, Dr. Mujahid is having this town hall on Makashiat Syariah. I said, why are you having this explaining of Islam to the non-Muslim? The problem is with the Muslim.
Yes.
The problem is in the mosque. The mosques are giving this narrative.
Yeah.
And then where are your amanah people, all your ustaz in the amanah? Why don't
To say
you
the right narrative.
give it to them and preach your rahmatan lil alamin in all the 20,000 mosques? It's only 20,000. It's not that much.
Yeah.
You give it to 1,000 ustaz, each one 50. Then 20. Then you.
No, he's afraid of Isma kena attack dia. Dia takut kena attack dengan all these religious people, so-called religious people. This is why I said our politicians, I don't want to use crude words, but they must be brave, okay? Braver. They have to just. I'm sure Mujahid is a very knowledgeable person in
Definitely,
religion.
no problem about that.
Right. So he knows what it is about Islam, the true Islam. Then you do it. You implement. Why you want to worry about what these people say? Oh, I know that he's trying to be, like for example, the LGBT issue.
LGBT issue.
Okay. For example, I know a lot of people attack him because people, but these are cyber troopers. They want to bring down the Pakatan Harapan ministers. So Mujahid Rawal kena attack because of so-called promoting and supporting LGBT. Okay. This is not about supporting or promoting. What he's doing is purely saying that we cannot persecute anyone, no matter who they are. This is what he's trying to do. I know he was trying to help the trans community, you know, to save them and all that. And even Nisha, you know, was saying that, you know, it was very good to meet him and all that. But because he is so fearful of the attack that he received, you know, by the Islamofascists, I call them, right? So he you know, he goes down to their level. This is the problem. They have no strength to stick to their belief, you know, and to what they if you know, he knows what Islam is all about, then just say that, you know, you can say one thing about Pakatan Harapan, they are very bad in responding to attacks. Look at ICERT, you look at Rome's statute, sudah kena terus, sudah lembik, barulah nak, you know, but still, they don't know how to use the mechanisms available. The TV, the radio, the newspaper, you know, use this to your advantage. But, you know, look, TV Al Hijrah still using, you know, this extremist version, you know, like views of close down Al Hijrah because it's not helping our society, yeah? You know, I mean, look at the one of the, who is it, the woman, she claimed that she invited us to talk about LGBT and nobody wants to come. I don't even know that they invited me, you know, and so she has already a mindset that LGBT is wrong. So if wrong, then who are you to condemn them? You know, you are the host, you cannot be biased. Already she's shown her bias. So Pakatan Harapan, they can use all these available vehicles, you know, but why are they not?
No, don't close down media, okay? Whatever their stand is, I don't think that, you know, that's what we should move towards.
Yeah, well, okay, fine. Don't close media, but use it for your own benefit. You want to spread the words to the people in the kampung. You know, orang asli in the village, up in the mountain, they have this satellite, okay? They don't get any other channel except TV1, TV2 and TV3. And they pay like once for the whole of their lifetime.
Okay.
So they have a package apparently, which I'm shocked lah. So, but of course they rarely use it because there's no electricity. But when they want, they use the generator. But as I said, even in the jungle, deep in the jungle, the orang asli can actually watch TV1, TV2, TV3, which is owned by our government. Okay, please use it. Use this. Give your narrative to the public.
Yeah, simple thing like I keep telling, look, drama Melayu, why semua Melayu? You know, can't you have drama Melayu with a mix of people there? You know, and I mean, I love this drama series called Growing Up in Singapore, the Singapore series. It's about a Chinese family. Although I've been around Chinese all my life, but then that drama really educated me on a lot of Chinese culture. They spoke English, of course.
Yes.
You know, of course, Phua Chu Kang and all these things, you know. And you got people like Gurmit playing the character role of a Chinese.
Yes.
So we don't have that. We don't have that in Malaysia. Kalau Melayu, Melayu. Kalau yang drama Cina, Cina semua. Well, I mean 60 years pun macam itu juga ke? And you have who's it, Gobin ke dalam
Gobin.
So all you have to do
They're
is
busy looking at how to punish people through MMC, you know, like it's ridiculous.
you make a statement. I will not accept any drama unless you have multi-racial people in it. Whether you are drama Melayu or you drama Cina, you have, you know, like the late Yasmin Ahmad.
Oh yeah,
movies,
she's
kan?
brilliant. Yes,
So that is the kind of thing that we should be heading towards.
Yes, the unity kind of documentary or movie or show. I have stopped watching 1, 2, 3 or whatever the mainstream channel. Okay, because I tengok I sakit hati lah. So I better don't watch.
Okay, I must. Sorry, I think we had quite a long discussion. It's fun and it's very engaging. But I must ask this because a few audience on our YouTube channel actually watching our live asked this. Do you actually both of you do you support vernacular school? I mean, like, or support vernacular school or
understand.
or single stream schools in Malaysia? Which do you think it's more suitable for
Right.
Malaysia?
Well, for me, I've always wondered why is it that in a national school that only Islam is being allowed to be taught in terms of religion.
National school.
Yeah, in national school. I said, okay lah, if in the beginning you have some issues, fine, but then not after 60 years or whatever. I mean, if you say that religion is very important, then it should be allowed for all others to teach their religion in the national school, and also the subject of culture, their own history, their own culture. I mean, where do you learn that? So if you have such things, then you would not need such things like the vernacular schools or even the religious schools.
Yes.
And things like that, because these are the schools that more or less isolate our society. But because the national school do not have that, then I said, well, then if you have the vernacular school, it's fine. I even made a remark. Most of the extremists in the baju merah is not from vernacular school, I said. You know?
Yeah, see,
It's all from the national school.
Sekolah
The
kebangsaan.
extremists are
Yes.
from the
you see,
side.
it's like this to me. I think when you are a parent, as a parent, I know I will send my child to a good school. I don't care whether it's vernacular or sekolah kebangsaan or whatever. As long it is a good school and is like affordable or free. Free first, and then affordable because majority are not rich to send to private schools, right?
Yes.
So until and unless we change the whole system of our public school, which is our national schools now, vernacular school will remain. In fact, it's getting more busier. If I have a small child now, I will send my child to a vernacular school as well, because they are not, even though I understand now, they are being forced as well to inform the Malay children to wear tudung, to do a certain thing. You see?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, this is what I understand.
But is it true that there are 70,000 Malays in vernacular school?
Yes.
I was shocked to hear that.
You know,
What? I
because
said, in national school already?
Yeah, no, it's proven in terms of numbers. Less people are going to national schools, and more people are going to vernacular school. And you are telling you are telling us to close down the vernacular school? No way, because they are doing better than the national school. Until and unless the national schools actually improve and change the quality of teachers, the headmistress, the headmasters, less religious centric, then maybe you can talk about streamline all the schools. Until then, I don't think parent will accept it. I also will not accept it because
I was also, my grandson had gone to standard 1 and I was really very, very sad that he had to go to a national school. I told my daughter, let grandfather put him in private school, but then, my daughter is headstrong like this, her father lah. So okay lah, alright. But then I watched him and I feel very sad. The way that he had to struggle through all these classes and things. So I said, one day, if the government does not change, I'm going to write and campaign for the idea of what we call homeschooling. Yeah? Homeschooling means you get to define your own package of learning.
a lot of
and then
parents
you
now
go
homeschooling.
to a certain place
it's
just to do this
It's
mathematics.
illegal, isn't
No,
it?
it's not illegal.
It's not?
It's not.
It's not.
No.
Yeah, because there's no other. If you can't change because of the politics,
Yes.
then we will change.
Yeah. I know a lot of Malay families.
I'm a
Yeah,
believer.
I know.
If you cannot fight, don't continue fighting. Move to somewhere else.
That's
this
it,
is.
the same.
I'm like water.
So,
you cannot go there.
yeah.
You go
So
over here.
the-
You don't change. Fine lah.
Yeah.
It's okay, yeah. But we will have 70,000 Malay children who
Yes.
grow up speaking Chinese, and they
Yes.
can join any of the companies in this country.
Exactly. That is another thing about this speaking Chinese requirement and
They can move to bigger places.
It's not true because I have many Chinese businessmen who owns big companies, and they say that it's terrible to show them as if they are racist. They
Very
actually they say they more than 50% of his staff is actually Malays.
Yeah.
his accountant, all the big people are Malays. So, if I bring all the corporate, these businessmen, they can tell it's all not true. So, again, with Mazli, don't just say things lah. You need to say the things with facts because you're a minister. When you say things like that, people pick on you.
Yes.
So then you cannot be upset about it. And then don't lah the other ministers come or whoever it is come to his defense just because purely for the sake of defending. What is wrong is wrong. What is right is right. Like the black shoe. People condemn him about the black shoe. Because my daughter was born in England and went to school in England and they wear black shoes. And I agree with it because white shoe is stupid. It gets dirty very fast. So to me, it's a good idea. I don't condemn him for the black shoe. Even though people don't foresee that as a good thing. But that for me is good is lessening the burden of the parent to clean the white shoe all the time because that takes time. So for me that's if it's good I will say it's good, but please look at the syllabus of less if religion the parents can send after school but not in our core time of schooling. So
there's a lot of things. You have to change the subject of history rather than learning too much on the political parties, more on the history of communities. You don't know each other. You don't know your own neighbors. If you ask anybody, Christian, what is the history of the Christianity? What is the contribution of Christianity to Christian got contribution. I mean, I went to St. Mark's School. It's a missionary school.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife went to a convent, Bukit Nanas, and they said there's a place for prayers and Christian prayers at the top.
That's the thing. As I said, look into everything. Everything is so screwed up now. Look at the books. As you say, history books is all about Islamic civilization. Okay, I want to say WTF, I mean, why they want to...
No, please don't.
No, this is... That's why I didn't say it. It's just, it's just like, why? I remember... that they told how Christianity came into Malaysia, how Islam came into Malaysia, and that's it, all the...
I remember memorizing the life of Siddhartha Gautama Buddha at Standard 5.
That's it.
In history class.
I only remember how Islam came into the Tamadun Islam in my history textbook.
How old are you? Because you're a younger generation.
Yes. So you see how things
I know,
change,
Lao Tzu.
right? Yes.
Our generation is different.
My wife said recently, we had to draw Mahatma Gandhi's face, So I said, so who you? I drew Jose Rizal.
Yeah.
So in that day, because we still borrowing the curriculum from the British, but then we are more open. But now because of we get more narrow-minded into our own small cocoon.
Yeah, because these people, they have placed this so-called Islamists, in position. They construct the books, they the question of exams as well, and what kind of things they put in there, and they try to erase real history, like the first climber in Mount Everest. You should be the Indian guy, right? What's his name? I can't remember. But they put the Malay boys, they're the first one to climb Everest. Please lah, please don't change the history of our country, and just because you want to uphold your race, that is the most shameful thing to do, because you will be find out. That's intellectually, morally wrong.
No, to me, it's very simple. When I speak to people, I say, look, you cannot live alone. Can you live alone? Not without, networking and looking at other people in the global construct. Can your children just get job with Malays? I don't think they will get job for 5 years or something like that. If you can't work with other people, then what are you going to do? All right. So networking, working with others, also need you to respect others, therefore knowledge of others. And there's nothing wrong you being a Muslim or you being a Christian or being Buddhist.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Nobody cares about
there
that,
is nothing
you know.
wrong, and it is even a complementary part of what I call spirituality. When you are, spirituality, let's say I'm fasting and then you're eating, fine. That is the cabaran, not to say you better go eat in the toilet. That's not part of the spiritual construct.
Exactly, and this arresting the people for selling food to the Muslim who, and the Muslim for eating. That is not Islamic at all, and it's terrible. They go actually undercover surveillance some more, this is really...
How do you know who can fast or not fast? How do you know that the person has gastritis, with severe gastritis? How do you know that the woman is, in her time of the month, and then and how do you know this person works in a contractor, as a contract worker?
Exactly.
You're not supposed to if he goes and fast and faint, and then how is he going to bring money to the
kind of thing,
to the family?
I think they have too many officers, and so they have to do something lah, kan? I mean, after all, they are being paid, so they go and help the poor. There are so many people who are poor. Find out about them, and do what you can. But no, they go and like do surveillance, even pretend to be a chef or cook or something like that. What crazy things are you doing? It's a joke, man. People are laughing at you. You are not portraying a good reflection of our religion. It's an embarrassing thing. It's like, I don't understand it.
Yeah. Okay, an hour has passed.
Really?
An hour has passed.
Oh my
Time
God, so
flies,
fast.
but thank you so much. We have actually discussed a plethora of issues,
I know.
right from
It
education,
is very
race,
related.
religion, and all things are intertwined in this country. I think as a conclusion, maybe some of you, both of you give us some words of like hope, like maybe how we can move on as a nation.
Hope you give us lah.
Okay, as I said just now, we have to be united. Okay, we cannot be cowed and afraid to speak up of what we want for this country. Whoever tells you otherwise, say that, look, my IC is blue. What is your IC? Blue as well, right? Okay. So I have the same right under the federal constitution as you. So don't tell me that my right is not as much as yours or whatever. We are Malaysian. The federal constitution gives me the same right as you. Okay? So shut up and just do it. So everybody, all of us who think the same must start to do something and actually act upon it. So join Maju when it's launched, and we hope the government will then listen to us, because we will be more organized. If we have at least 1 million supporters, then the government can say, oh, wow, look, these are our voters, we better actually take note lah. Maybe dulu Siti Kassim punya alone, so don't listen to her. But whatever is happening right now, I have actually said it right from the very beginning. My open letter, 3 days after Pakatan won, is already there. This religion thing, this ketuanan thing, this is the worst and most difficult for our government to handle. And that's why I was all for it for Mahathir to actually take over the Ministry of Education. But some righteous Pakatan Harapan, this is not under our manifesto, you cannot be, they don't think further. So there you go. Anyway.
Okay, look forward to it. She took the cue and promote Maju.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And
This is going to be our pressure group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think there are two things that I learned from my own spiritual search. Is that number one, if was a lecture given by someone who doesn't believe in the God construct, and it was the power of not knowing. The power of not knowing means that if we all can admit that we are humans and we cannot know everything.
Yes.
And so if you celebrate that you do not know, I mean 95% of the things in this world, whatever it is, then you can be humble with the thoughts, and then not judge other people in that regard. And that is number one. If we can admit to ourselves, but the problem is that we think we know everything. I know this society women, they are like that. I see, you don't even know your wife after 40 years of marriage. Can you actually know your wife truly? It's not possible.
No.
Okay, so that's number one. Number two, the idea that I wrote, learning from Buddhist Ajahn Brahm, is that whoever is in front of you, give the dignity to the person and the time and the compassion and the caring at the time. Whoever it is in front of you. If you in front of you is your children, give the time and the compassion. In front of you is an Indian or a Chinese or whatever it is, that is the time. If you can practice that, meaning giving dignity to the other, I mean that is the lesson of what I understood from reading all the religion about spirituality. The Prophet Muhammad, if you are in front of him, he would be in front of you, his whole body. If someone was talking and if he wants to face that, he would turn his whole body and face
Like
that
me,
person,
like
you know. He would not say, okay, you know, something like that.
Yes.
So he practices the idea
Respect.
of respecting whoever it is in front. So I think if we can do that in our education system,
Yes.
instead of learning too much science, mathematics, and even religion, like Mazli Malik said, love and empathy. I think that is a key of education, not of religious education per se,
Yes.
but being a human being.
Yes.
Love and empathy is being religious.
Yes. Yes.
Being religious means you have all the nice and good qualities. Generosity, empathy, compassion, love, you know, all the good kind of, you know,
Human
characteristics.
traits.
Yes.
Yes,
So
yes.
that is being religious. Being religious is not about wearing your tudung, a serban, and then you read Quran, you know, you attend religious school and you hafal, you jadi hafiz, you hantar anak you pergi hafiz. No, it's not. That's not being religious. If I manage to teach my child to be a good human being, you know, to have compassion, to have love, you know, and to have mercy, that is being a good Muslim.
I think this is a very good place to end our discussion
Yes.
today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for so much love and empathy tonight. I'm sure, you know, this is for our beloved nation.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending your time with us tonight. Remember the two keywords Prof. Tajuddin has mentioned just now, love and empathy, and I'm sure we will be a better nation till we meet again. Good night.